honour the First Peoples of Australia, their unbroken ties to Aboriginal law, culture and customs. We respect the traditional owners of the lands and waters we inhabit and acknowledge their elders past and present. We celebrate the enrichment of Aboriginal communities around Australia. We recognise the lasting impact of colonisation and dispossession. We salute those who have fought for the rights of First Peoples. Their legacy is our guiding light today and always.
I can't take it anymore!
Good afternoon, good evening, good day, and good morning, blurtsters, wherever you are around the world. You are listening to the Blurt.
You absolutely are listening to the new Blurt. Good evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you may be on this wonderful sphere of ours. And for the flat earthers out there, guess not. I'm Keely, aka the Kegsta. I'm coming to you from traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people, part of the Kulin Nation. Sovereignty was never ceded, always has been, and always will be Aboriginal land. I am much better this week. If anyone heard me on last week's show, it was deplorable. But I was just getting through. But everyone in my household is now sick, so that's awesome. Not. And, I think it's just going all around Australia at the moment. So anyone out there who isn't feeling too well, put your feet up and get yourself a cup of tea or a lem sip or something and have a listen to the pod if you just downloaded it. Now, thank you everyone that is listening to the show at the moment. I can see averages have been going up quite a bit the last 3 months, so people are enjoying what we're doing, and it's really, really good news. So really appreciate it. And if there's anything else that you'd like us to touch on that we haven't already, we've got quite a lot of segments, as you'd know from listening to the show. Just let us know on blurtstar@gmail.com or all the socials that we have, which is everything pretty much apart from Twitter and Truth, obviously, but pretty much everything else you can get us on. So anyway, we have a fantastic show tonight, as we normally do. Wency's going to go through a bit of homework. He needs to just tackle whether Japanese are still whaling, because we talked about it on last week's show. We're not 100% sure on that one. So Wency will bring us up to date. The USA is on fire, as our title says, but not in a good way. So we're talking about the temperatures that are rising in challenging times. Orders of Oz, we're tuning in to find out about who got the Orders of Australia, and I will be omitting one name in particular because I think it's total and utter bullshit. Iceland's chill schedule. Iceland, since 2019, has been doing a 4-day week. We'll have a look at what the results of that were, and I can tell you they're pretty damn good. We've got Let's Get Technical on tonight, one of my favourite shows. One of the main reasons is I love the sting, but the segment's all right as well. I'm going to talk about agentic coding and climate technology. And if you don't know about agentic coding, well, you'll stand by to have your mind blown, because it is a little bit scary. But it can be really, really helpful as well. Wency's going to have a chat about new navigation system that could replace GPS. Very interested in that one. Then what's on the box on the way out? Your binge-worthy breakdown. Wency is going to talk about a Taiwanese show called Office Girls, and he always comes up with something that's a little bit off the wall and interesting. So I'm interested to have a look at this one. And I am going to review Dead Reckoning Part 1, which is the, I think it's called, is it called the prequel, if there's two of them? I can't remember. But anyway, Dead Reckoning Part 1 is a Mission Impossible. It's the first part for the latest Final Reckoning, which makes sense, really, that's out there in the cinema right now. And I will tell you that, you don't want to miss either of those reviews. And with that, we do it every week. We'll keep doing it until the cows come home, as my dad would say. Co-hosters, we're the mosters. Oh, it's I. Settle
God,
down,
it's
people.
cold,
Settle
cold, cold, cold in Brisbane.
Yes, you were mentioning this, and it's like 15 or something. It's like a whole 6 or 7 degrees hotter than it is here.
Yeah, it is. It's all relative, my friend. It's all relative.
It
I'm
is.
freezing my tootsies off at the moment.
Don't do that. You'll make me cough again.
So you're not completely over COVID. I mean, the cold or
No.
flu, whatever you
Yeah.
had last week.
No. I'm definitely not completely over it, but I
Yeah.
am on the back end of it, which is nice, which is very, very good. So,
That's the main thing.
yeah, very much so, very much so. Anything happening in Brisbane of note at the moment, apart from the fact it's weirdly cold?
No, not really.
Fair
But
enough.
before I should have
Yeah.
started, I probably
Yes,
should have said
you
that
definitely should.
that I should have said that I want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we gather, the Jagera and the Turrbal peoples. I pay my respect to the elders, past, present, and recognise their the enduring connection to this land, its waters, and its stories. Yeah, so I forgot to mention that at the very beginning. But hey,
I thought you were going to say you recognised the merging. That'd be
the
interesting.
merging.
That'd be interesting. Very interesting. But actually, something else very interesting, and I'll do this straight away, so I don't forget. Get into this. Bang, bang, bang.
We don't need no education.
That's right. So last week we did talk about whaling, because I talked about the whales that are coming up the eastern coastline of Australia as they head for warmer waters. And we asked the question, is Japan still doing whaling? So a little
Yes.
bit of history. Japan has done whaling for cultural, economic and scientific reasons.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't quite believe the latter too. Culturally, yes, I do believe. Historically, whaling was part of Japan's coastal traditions, where some communities relied on the whale meat for consumption, and they obviously had uses for the other byproducts like soap when from the fats of the whale, etc.
What are you back in the 19th century now?
Yeah, yeah, because the Japanese have been whaling for centuries, as long as they've been able to be on the seas, I guess, and must have been quite a lot of whales in the area for them to harness, pardon the pun, not intended, to harness the whale meat and stuff like that and everything else.
Yeah.
After World War II, the meat did become a major protein source when they were recovering from the after effects of being bombed
Hiroshima,
and
etc.
all that stuff. So
Wow.
I can
Okay.
understand why they did need it culturally.
Yep.
But yes, they did start using the excuse of scientific research.
Yes.
And then they started traveling not just within their waters, but even outside, everywhere, including here in the Pacific.
That's when the Sea Shepherd got pissed off.
Correct. And they did pause, stop their whaling a few years ago, back in 1919 or 20 or thereabouts. But then they have come back. So they did commission a new boat ship last year.
You are kidding me.
Yeah, so it's called the Kangai Maru, and it's their new whaling mothership. So apparently it's got technology like drones where they have a range of like 100 Ks from the thing, and so easily identify the whales and all that.
What
So
whales are they? Are they grabbing? Like what ones in particular? And how is this happening without Sea Shepherd all over it?
yeah, exactly. I'm not exactly sure which whales, but one of the ones that I did read was the fin whale that they seem to target quite a bit.
Okay.
So I haven't looked into what that one looks like, but the ship did look like it could fit one of like the biggest whale you can find. What is it? The blue whale?
Well, the humpback, I think.
The
Oh
humpback.
no,
Yeah,
you're right. No. I think you're spot on. The blue whale's the biggest, I believe.
yeah. But
Yeah.
either way, it's a massive long ship.
Yeah.
Cost $48 million US.
Great.
Obviously, your environmentalist groups aren't very happy,
No,
and they
not
are
at
moving
all.
into Antarctic waters as well. So,
Fuckers.
yeah, yeah. So unfortunately, yeah, they're still going
Whaling.
through that horrible practice. If they were doing it close to home and it was just for consumption of meat and in small numbers, I might forgive it,
They're not
but not
gonna.
really.
They're not gonna spend 50 million on a boat to do it close to home.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's
So,
bullshit though. What are they trying to make an industry out of it, or what are they doing?
yeah, I don't understand. No, I don't know, to be honest. But yes, to answer the question from last week, yes, they're still whaling.
Well, I tell you what.
Hopefully nowhere near as in the numbers as they were previously. But sorry, you got.
No, that's all right. I was just gonna say that gets me particularly hot under the under the collar.
Yeah, it sure does.
Which brings us to blood around the world.
Blurt around the world, around the world, around the world, around the world. Blurt around the world, around.
Okay, hot news this week.
Hot.
Man, US is really on fire, aren't they? But not in a good way.
No.
It was definitely one of the headlines we were going to go with, but we ended up going with the LA riots because that's even more
Yeah.
pressing. Because yeah, LA has been under protests, severe protests from the locals over the, what is it, 4 days now?
Yeah. Because all
Yeah,
these ICE agents are coming in, and now he's pulled the Marines and the National Guard, and it's
yeah.
just
Started off with the
fucking
National
ridiculous.
Guards. Yeah.
It's all illegal too, apparently.
Bringing in
It's against the
the
Constitution. So
Marines and the National Guard. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, didn't realize that.
yeah. And the
Yeah.
other thing is that because Gavin Newsom, who's the governor of California, he's suing his ass because he is. I think he's trying to take over the state's law sort of department, the people that look after the state,
Yep.
that enforce the state, etc. I think he's
Yeah.
trying to take those soldiers or whatever you call them for the feds instead of working for the state. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I do know that Governor Newsom is definitely suing his ass.
Yeah. Yeah. It's quite a shame because the protesters were peacefully protesting.
Yeah. And what happened?
When
Did some nutbags come in, or?
obviously Orange Turd decided that he didn't like the protesters trying to stop the ICE officers, the what are they called? Immigration and Customs
Yeah.
Enforcement officers who conducted various raids across the city, and when they arrested over 100 individuals suspected of immigration violations. Yeah, and with those raids, that triggered some protests, which was all peaceful to begin with. But then, of course, Orange Turd decided to take it into his own hands and make it his own agenda and brought in the Marines. And that's when the violent clashes started. So,
It's a fully racist thing to do. It's
absolutely.
100% racist. Just suspecting because someone was pulled off the street the other day, a Nicaraguan woman, and she was a tourist in
Oh,
America.
bloody hell. Yeah. I'll just target anyone who's not white.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
total and utter, just so simple racism. Racism and fascism at the same time,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
it's just yeah.
I've got some videos here of the of some of the protests, including a couple of Australian journalists who have been in amongst the protests.
Wow.
I'll show you
Okay.
the Channel 9 reporter who got shot.
No props.
Okay, I'm just going to wait a bit before pressing play, see if it comes up.
Are you looking for LA or what you put in?
Yeah, the LA protests is the one that I'm trying to bring up. I don't know if it's coming up on your side.
Should just tell me which one.
LA protest reporter, if you want to play that.
Rather the one that gets hit.
Yep. Yes,
Yep.
please.
Okay.
Roll the tape. And then we can go into the other one once we're ready.
Yeah, no, it'll pop up in a minute. Just taking a little while, but it should be there in a minute.
Did you click the live button?
Yeah.
After hours of standing off, this situation has now rapidly deteriorated. The LAPD moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA. Whoa! Shut the fuck up!
You okay?
I'm good.
Good morning. We begin with developing news out of Los Angeles, where tensions have
think that's
reached
the main
a
one we
boiling
wanted to
point.
see,
Tear gas and
how
rubber
that-
bullets fired as protesters clash with police.
Look, across the road there, the Mexican flag. We've seen quite a number
Jesus
of those, of
Christ.
course, huge Mexican population in Los Angeles
Wow.
as well. So, look, Kate, it's just a situation that doesn't seem to be letting up right now. It feels very tense, very, very heightened emotions here.
Yeah, very volatile scenes there. Lauren,
I would say
stay safe. Thank you. For the
underestimated. Was it under? I can't find the word I'm looking for. Which is really annoying. Yeah, she basically. Yeah, that's an understatement.
Yeah. Yeah, to be, and from the reports I've seen, they've slowed down that footage, and you can see the. I'm guessing it was the National Guard. Who
Yeah,
took
well,
aim,
yeah, that or the Marines or
or
whatever.
the Marines
I don't know.
took aim at the reporter. So it wasn't even just a let's just fire randomly.
Well, they only hit her, and there was
Yeah.
other people next to her, so they're obviously a very good shot.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a pretty disgusting act.
That's disgraceful. Absolutely,
Yeah, it is. It is. And as she was covering and they talked about briefly there, the Mexicans in California, I think, account around about 15 million
Yeah,
from off the top of my head of the population
in California.
in California alone.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a huge, huge population
Yeah.
across.
Yeah, and I think
California,
there's
so-
40-something million people in California, so it's 15 million. That's ginormous.
Yeah.
Wow, geez, that's big. I saw the Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, out today, and man, she was strong.
Mm.
She was like, "If you think we're just going to sit here and do what you want us to do, you've got to be kidding." She was really, really strong.
Yeah, yeah. She's
So-
definitely trying to make everything calm and trying to be the bigger person, the adult in the room compared to.
Doesn't take much, mate.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Really doesn't take much. Did you want to play your other one as well?
Yes, let's play the other one. So this one's an ABC reporter this time getting caught up in some tear gas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we just got caught in the middle of a tear gassing incident, and it shows just how quickly things can escalate here.
We had seen multiple fireworks being set off.
There'd been a long standoff between police and protesters in Little Tokyo in downtown LA, and then all of a sudden we just heard these loud bangs and the crowd started running, and then just got this overwhelming sense of stinging eyes, which then moved to the nose, lips, throat. Makes it really uncomfortable to breathe, and you just want to throw up.
Well, tensions do seem to be rising here on the streets of LA. We've found ourselves at yet another standoff between protesters on one side and police on the other. So far, it remains relatively peaceful, but you do get a sense that one bad decision from a single individual could ignite the situation, and we've certainly seen that elsewhere in the city. Police have been firing rounds of tear gas, rubber bullets, foam pellets to disperse the crowd.
That's fucked.
Yeah, that's just terrible.
That is just shit.
And LA is, it's not the first time that riots tend to get out of hand in Los Angeles.
Well, no, you've only got to go back to Rodney King.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So
Back in the 90s, I
yeah.
think that was. But yeah, so yeah, it does happen. They're quite passionate, And of course they do. It is a democratic state, so it's not surprising that the orange turd has taken
Hit
upon
that
himself
state so hard, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there've been jabs thrown at each other between Newsom and orange turd. So like you said, the suing of the federal government now by California, that's going to happen, and
Yeah, it's going to be interesting where that sits. But on a slightly rosier note, as we know, the King's birthday was on the weekend, or it was meant to be on the weekend or whatever. And Collingwood won again, so that was good.
Yes.
And go Pies! Anyway, some 830 Australians will be recognised on the King's birthday, and we got 413 Medal of Honours and 123 members of the Order and officers of the Order, which is an AO, an AM and an OAM. Officers of the Order and AO is 31 recipients, and Companions of the Order is 14 recipients. So I'm going to go through.
One?
Sorry, was that?
Is that the prestigious one, the AM?
Let's have a look. I would say the OAM and the AM are probably the prestigious ones. Medal of Order and the Members of Order, I would think. But I mean, if you get any of them and it's got Australia at the back, it's probably pretty good.
Happy, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So Baz Luhrmann and Catherine Martin, who've been recognised as the eminent service to the arts. So they're behind Strictly Ballroom.
Yes, of course.
For an example. But they also did that other one with Nicole Kidman. Yes, they did that one as well. They did Australia, and Nicole was in that too, I think. But Nicole Kidman also played with Ewan McGregor in a musical. It wasn't Chicago. It wasn't Cabaret. Oh, for God's sakes, I can't remember what it's called. But it's got a bit of burlesque in it, etc., etc. It's a really good movie, but I can't remember for the life of me. If anyone's out there, anyone's listening at any time, if you want to let us know, that would be great, because I don't have time at the moment. But anyway, Baz Luhrmann and Catherine Martin are pretty cool. Oh yeah, that's right. They were behind Elvis as well.
Yeah, of course.
So and holding the record for the most Oscars won by an Australian, which is Catherine Martin. And Luhrmann. So Wendy McCarthy is a trailblazing businesswoman, ABC deputy chair, so long-standing service to various communities. Philip Adams, one of my faves, dropped off the podcast and the wireless this year. I think he's 80 or pretty close to it. I think he's got a pacemaker, and I think he's got some other stuff happening as well. But honestly, Philip Adams is absolutely sensational. And he has done a long-time show called Late Night Live, which I adore. And David Marr is now on that now as well, and he is equally as good. And Laura Tinkle just left Late Night Live, so they were all been around for a long time together. So all a little bit sad, but also very good for Philip. He eminent service to broadcast media, journalism, and arts and cultural leadership. He's very, very much on the First Peoples community. He has lots of people on talking about their language and all those different things, and they still do that right now as we speak. Fantastic program. Professor Herg Goodberg is a pioneering reef and climate change scientist, which is always good, and services to marine science, particularly raising the awareness about climate change impact on coral reefs. And Professor Mark Howden, who recognised climate variability, change, innovation and adaptation issues, and was the co-recipient of the 2007 Nobel Peace Prize for his contributions to the IPCC, which we have talked about before, stands for... What does the IPCC stand for again? We've done this before. I cannot remember. Yeah, I should know. I really should know by now. Anyway, other notable recipients. Medal of Honor was Mohammed Farouk Adam, awarded for his service to Queensland's Muslim community. Gregory Little, a Noongar elder, honoured for their service to the community. Professor John Rosenberg, recognised for his service to tertiary education, Melbourne's Jewish community. And Emily Corora, recognised for her services to people living with disabilities and multicultural communities in South Australia. So we thank all of those for their brilliant work, and I congratulate all of them from the New Blurt. The members of the order. So, what was that? Sorry.
I just said congrats.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a little bit for them, I think. We put that in the background, so that's good. Just let that happen. The Associate Professor Emma Kennedy, General Practitioner with Flinders University, on her work in training health professionals, improving healthcare. And former ABC employees Matthew Peacock, Sally Lone, and Dr. Chiria Romaro were also appointed AMs. And Ross Cornish recognised for significant service to early childhood education. So that's a bit of a summary of the orders of the day. And congrats to all, as Orwensai said very much.
Well done, Aussies.
Yeah, good stuff. Very good stuff. So what I did want to mention, and I did talk about before, is that Iceland started a 4-day week program in 2019. And it was a bit of an experiment, and they've now come back with the results. So via agreements allowing workers to negotiate their sort of shorter weeks, etc., I actually believe that rather than doing like 4 days a week and say 10 hours a day, i.e. 40 hours a week, or even 9 hours a day, 36 hours a week, 36 hours a week sort of thing. I think they were just doing like normal 8 hours a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the pilot program was 2015, and 2,500 employees, which is over 1% of the workforce. Shows you how small Iceland is.
Yeah.
Formalisation in 2019 followed the successful pilot, and that, as I say, that's been going on since then. The feared outcomes is, especially by employers, because they always think the worst, was drop in productivity, increased cost for businesses, blah, 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 blah. The outcomes dispelled the fears. Productivity remained stable, and in some sectors even increased.
Wow.
So no productivity lost, and in some sectors actually increased.
Does it say which sectors increased?
No, I don't have that specific. I'm sorry. I can't go into that much detail. It's called the blurt. Worker well-being. So improved mental health. It reduced stress, and work-life balance was significantly improved. And the whole idea was that, especially, sort of male being the sort of patriarch in that, so many men at work compared to women still in this day and age, women are doing most of the work, sort of, if they've got kids and these sort of things. I mean, we're changing it, and the whole idea of this is to help change it. Is to give them that extra day off a week so they can be home and help with the family, whether it's male or female, either way, so that they can get the family system, working better, and which is better for the community, better for themselves. Connection is, highly important. So
exactly.
The gender equality, the 4-day week encouraged greater male involvement, as we talked about. There wasn't any pay reduction in this.
Nice.
And really, when you think about why should there be? They only had productivity at the same level and increased. So, unlike some countries, Belgium's compensatory had longer days. This is what I was talking about before. So Belgium actually made them go longer days, where Iceland didn't do that. They maintained the original salaries on the original working conditions.
Right.
Heavy government investment in digital infrastructure supported teleworking and maintained productivity, which, if you think about it seriously, we've got that in this country right now. I mean, people that can work at at work and they code or they do anything on a computer in any way, shape or form can, without a doubt, work from home.
Yep.
It's just the will of the employer. It's
Exactly.
nothing else.
Or another country like I did last year.
Yeah, exactly right. 100%. 100%. Improved quality of life. The Islanders report more time for leisure, family, friends, leading to decreased stress, increased overall happiness. What happens if you have a more happy employee? You get more productivity out of them.
More productivity,
you know,
yeah.
and they're well more often. They don't get sick as much because they're not stressed. Blah blah
Exactly.
blah blah
They'll
blah.
be more loyal. They'll stick around
Exactly.
longer.
100%. That is 100% true. So Iceland's experience serves as an inspiring example for other countries. There's already pilots around the world. I know New Zealand was looking at a few weeks ago. We'll have to have a look at that, where that is at some stage. And there's also some in Germany, Spain, and the UK, and Portugal. Belgium's legislation, while it's legislated the Belgium system of compensating for hours not worked, limits its adoption. So, because of the fact that it wasn't legislated in Iceland, they just worked with a lot of employers, etc., etc. So, anyway, it looks like it is been a really good program, and it looks like the outcomes is something that we should definitely look at and not ignore, because I can't see any reason we couldn't do it here at all. I see no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, I just did a really quick search, and there is an organisation here in Australia, in Melbourne, in fact, a software business called Our Community. They trialled it for like a 4-day week, and they permanently adopted it.
Wow.
A logistics company in Perth introduced the model to combat employee burnout and improve retention. So it has happened here, a few organisations, so not on a grand scale. But again, the trials have showed, like in Iceland, that there was no drop in productivity, with 70% of companies reporting an increase and the remaining 30% maintaining previous levels. Plus, the businesses saw less sick days, improved employee retention, and better recruitment outcomes. Just exactly what you've just said.
You know what I always find interesting, though? If there is something that is in some way advantageous to the employer, right? Nearly all the time, they'll look at that information or that report or whatever and go, oh, we've got this report, we'll have to act on this report, etc., etc. But when you've got something that is so blatant and good for the employee and the information is in front of your face, they still won't pick it up and look at it.
No, don't know. Think about it.
I mean, the only reason we got work from home anyway is because everyone got COVID.
Yeah, because the pandemic hit. Now they're trying to take that away from us.
Yes, yes, yeah. It's a lot of it's going to be a lot of blowback if they do that, I reckon.
Oh yeah, there'll be massive resignations across the country.
Yeah, there will be.
I know that'll happen in our organisation if that happened. So yeah.
Yeah, and it'd be a lot in mine as well. I mean, 3 days was enough when they mandated that. So if they touch that, people just go mental, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, talking about going mental, we've got to go for a break.
When you give blood, you're more than just a blood donor. You're the lifeblood of Australia. Search Give Blood and book your donation with Australian Red Cross Life.
The Australia Institute produces high-quality research that has real-world impact, whether it's revealing the $10.3 billion in fossil fuel subsidies provided by federal and state governments last year, or our long-standing research advocating for a federal anti-corruption commission with real teeth We change minds. To donate, head on over to australiainstitute.org.au.
Blurtstar says, let's get technical.
The human has been neutralized.
Okay.
I do love it. I love it. I love it.
Nobody saw that on the YouTube, did they? Me dancing, half Elaine, half Trump.
You've got to do the double jerk off if you're doing Trump.
I don't do jerk offs, not in public anyway. Anyway,
Yeah,
what are we doing again?
I think I'll mark that.
Not touching that one. Oh
no.
Back to that game again last week.
That's exactly right. 100%. Now, just going back to what we were talking about before, IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Somehow we will tattoo that into our brain.
Yep.
Cheers.
There we go. It'll get. It'll leave my brain in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it might do. It's already gone.
Anywho, let's get technical. I'm going to quickly talk about a new innovation that's just been released in the last week or two by a French company, a French startup called Sodern, S-O-D-E-R-N. They've developed this revolutionary navigation system called Australia. It has the potential to replace GPS. The GPS relies on satellites, so as you know, it's in our phones, devices, cars, and obviously in warfare for planes, missiles, commercial planes, you name it, it's GPS is everywhere. It relies on the satellites being there, which is why we've got a whole heap of satellites going up in the sky by, you know who, we won't name him.
Alien Head, yeah.
Alien Head. And other organizations, obviously governments send out satellites for military purposes. But the problem with GPS is that it is prone to hacking, potential hacking, and also interference by jamming. So there's technology to spoof your GPS coordinates, and so it makes you think that you're in this location when in fact you're over here. So this French company has come up with it's come up with a star tracker. So basically it is a device that knows where the stars are and has a visual view of the star, and it can be daytime or nighttime. So normally you'd think, okay, stars, nighttime, but this one can actually see it in the daytime. So it doesn't matter where you're on the planet, it will track the stars. And because it doesn't rely on satellites, it's not prone to that hacking or spoofing of coordinates and things like that. So if you...
How does that work though? I don't quite understand that. Can you sort of just detail that on the stars a little bit more?
Yeah, so stars compared to the Earth are relatively fixed. So yes, they do move over time, but we're talking thousands, if not tens of thousands of years. To our tiny, short lives, human lives, the stars are fixed in their position. So it doesn't matter where you're on the planet. If you use triangulation and other mathematics, you can pinpoint exactly where you are.
Right.
Based
so
on
it's basically a fixed coordinate because it's not moving. If it is moving, it's really, really just stupidly minimal.
Yeah, exactly. And because we know the movement of the Earth and the spin and how fast it goes around the sun and all that stuff, this technology, what it does is it fixes itself on certain stars and can accurately track where you're going. So if you can play one of those videos, the Australia one.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to play for me.
Is it called Australia, my friend?
Yep, it sure is. You can see the camera lens at the top.
Yeah, it's a big ass lens.
Yeah, so if you're listening, it's basically talking about the details. So it's got the accuracy 1 meter at the distance of 70 kilometers. All those applications we use now, it can be used on those as well.
It's pretty heavy duty though, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm assuming it's got to be fitted on the outside of the machine to be able to see where it's going or where it's come from.
Right.
So because of the accuracy, there's still other technology behind it. So if it's a cloudy day or it doesn't have a lock on certain stars, it still uses other systems like IMS, which is inertial measurement systems that has gyroscopes and accelerometers and other devices to keep the device, the plane, the bus, whatever is using it, to go in its trajectory as it's meant to.
Right. So that device that you showed us, that actually goes into like into a bus or a car or something. Is that?
Yeah. Might be like I'm assuming once it's commercialized, it'll be small enough that it might just get put into like a dome on the surface of a vehicle, and that way it's got visibility of wherever it needs to do.
So I wonder how Google Maps and all the different companies, as in Apple Maps and all those sort of things, how would they be able to use that? Would they be locked out?
Don't know. It's just emerging, so it's hard to know where it's going to go if it takes off. The devices are estimated to be worth about 250,000 per unit, so it's quite a high uptake.
Yeah, lots of people are going to run out and get one for sure.
Will it fit in my phone? Yeah, no, not yet. So
no.
Yeah,
but it is pretty fascinating, though.
Yeah, it's definitely a new tech, and yeah, give it 5 or 10 years. Don't throw away your GPS systems just yet. We'll see how quickly it advances, and obviously it's got to get miniaturized over time and made cheaper. So I thought it was quite interesting. The release only just came out this week or last week, so it's quite new.
No, that's very cool, my friend. Very, very cool. Something else that's a little bit cool, if you're in the coding world, or even if you're not, the future of autonomous decision making in business. They're calling it agentic AI, and what it means is it's an advanced software. Programs are designed to make decisions autonomously, which does sound. I know it sounds a bit scary. It definitely does. Because AI, which operates reactively, agentic AI combines including memory planning, environmental sensing, tool usage, and context, and adherence to safety guidelines. So that part is really important. Is really important. So the shift towards autonomous or semi-autonomous AI has sort of been happening since about 23, to be honest. By 2028, they think that at least 15% of everyone's everyday decision will be made autonomously by agentic AI. Basically, what it means is that it's when you use ChatGPT or something, you can get some really good information out of it if you ask for a review of a movie or something like that, or if you want to condense something or summarize, etc., or whatever information you're looking for. But when we dig a little bit deeper and we're writing code, which isn't the easiest thing in the world to do, what agentic AI does is that if you get a plugin for a certain visual sort of platform that you can use, you can get a plugin, and there's many of them. One of them is Klein. Another one is Amazon Q Developer by AWS, Amazon, and it has agentic coding built in. And what that basically means is that you can put your folders with your code, you can give it like a pointer to the agentic to the platform, i.e. in this case, say Amazon Q. You can put a pointer and say, can you look through all of my code? Can you check all of my folders, check my trees, my structure, and tell me if there's any errors in there? And what it will do, it will go through every single file one at a time. And if it finds anything, it can and will fix the error for you.
Oh, wow.
And I've used this a few times now, and it is really, really good. And it's really...
is it accurate?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
It really is. And that's the difference between hallucinations that we know about. Because if you asked, I think in the past, if you asked ChatGPT how to spell raspberry or something, it couldn't spell it, didn't give it enough R's or whatever it was. But agentic coding is all about context and is all about tool usage and, as I say, memory and planning. And it doesn't just know how to code in the particular code that you've asked it to, i.e. Whether you're using Python, which is a code encoding Java, etc., etc. It actually knows, if you give it the context, it actually knows what you're trying to do as well as using that code.
Nice.
And you are quite correct to ask, is it accurate? Because in the past, it hasn't been, but it's getting better and better and better at the moment. And the one plugin, Klein, has another plugin, and when you use that and you fully configure it, it gives you an almost error-free outcome, and you can just get on and write what you need to write. And if there are any errors, you can solve those quite quickly as well. So yeah, no, it's a lot of people get scared about AI because it's like, oh, it's going to replace my job. No, what it's going to do is going to replace someone who doesn't know how to use AI. So it's pretty much incumbent on all of us to understand how it works and how we can control it and how we can use it best to our ability. Because if we put our heads in the sand, anyone that does that and doesn't use it, they won't be employed.
Yeah, exactly.
If
If it can remove the menial, boring parts of your job, then great.
And it's really, really good for error detection. Really, really, really good.
True.
So real-time environmental interaction, from self-driving cars to robotic systems, Boston Dynamics, they adapt to the dynamic environments. This is all agentic AI. Enhanced property AI agents can automate customer service, Google Duplex, optimize financial trading, or even assist in scientific research. So it really is super important, and it is mind-blowing sort of stuff. There's no doubt about it. And just some stuff here, which is basically what I was talking about before, but self-improvement and learning. Unlike static model, agentic AI refines strategies over time in fields like cybersecurity and DevOps, which is like GitHub and Copilot in GitHub, which is basically an assistant to you when you're writing your code. And it can go, okay, this is what I think the next line probably would be. And you go, yeah, actually, this is the next line I wanted. And you can just, you do save, you definitely save a lot of time. And I mean a lot of time. So the other thing I did want to mention as well is the critical role of AI in governance. And as agentic AI expands, you've got to be careful about privacy concerns and bias, because and ethical dilemmas, because as you know, so many of the algorithms we have now are pretty racist, really.
Oh, are they?
Well, yeah, because that's what the data
algorithms
sets.
on the
Yeah,
true.
yeah, because that's what the data sets they were fed on. Originally, they're racist and sexist pretty much because so many of the guys are tech bros.
Yeah.
You don't get too many tech bras, as it were.
No, that's true.
I don't know if you call them tech bras. I don't know, but tech bros anyway. So the other thing with the critical role of AI in governance is security and the compliance, accountability, et cetera, et cetera. And because this stuff, security is built first. That's like the first tier when they build the AI now. Security is at the top. So when you do certain things with agentic AI, it will quiz you and go, "Oh, you can't do that," because that's against the security paradigms, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And it will always lead you to the least privilege. It will always lead you to the most safe way you can do something. Someone hacks it, but that's definitely how it is programmed at the moment, and I believe it will keep being that way. That's why I say it's a good thing to get your head around, and it is worth finding out and using. It's called agentic AI because sooner or later you'll be using it whether you know it or not. So.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of agentic AI. The other thing I did want to have a chat about, and I've got a little video as well, is just the climate technology and the innovations that are driving sustainability. So I thought we might just have a little bit of a look, because we talk about wind power all the time. We talk about, wind turbines, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know about you, but I've never actually really seen a video on them. And I've never really seen them from go to woe of what is, what's needed to get one up, and what the sustainability sort of questions are, and what reports need to be followed, and all those sort of things. So, but the key trends shaping climate technology for 2025 is EV and clean transportation. That's still carbon capture and storage. I just think that's total bullshit. But anyway, energy efficient computing. This is what we're talking about sort of before, in the way they're using the chips, etc. that you've talked about on the show.
Yeah.
They're trying to get as much energy out of the smallest chips they can. And the thing that I am concerned about with that sort of stuff when it comes to AI and data centers is that I believe that Google wants to, it might even be Meta. They're going to buy a whole bunch of land in could be in Portugal or somewhere. I think it's in somewhere in Europe. And the problem is that they need a heap of water to cool the data systems because the data centers are going to be so big. So that is a real bit of a climate catastrophe waiting to happen. So that's where we've got to be careful. That is where we've got to be careful. But anyway, so I just wanted to bring attention. I won't show the movie because we just don't have enough time, but I will put the link in the show notes. It's worth having a look at. So.
Okay, nice.
With that, my friend, I think we better crack on.
Get this crazy man off the streets.
Notice, but lately I've been drifting aimlessly.
Oh my God. Will you stop changing channels and just tell me what's on the box?
I'll tell you exactly what's on the box. Dead Reckoning. Dead Reckoning is on the box, and I'm going to be quick with this one. It is a cracker. There's no doubt about it. Once you've seen it, I've seen it. It's an absolute beauty. The plot overview is that the rogue, self-aware artificial intelligence capable of manipulating all digital systems, posing an unprecedented global threat, which is interesting considering what I've just been talking about. The cruciform key. Ethan Hunt's mission is to secure a 2-part cruciform key. This key is the sole mechanism to either control or destroy the entity whose source code is hidden with sunken Russian submarine. I'm not going to say any more than that on that one. They're fantastic characters. Simon Pegg plays a cracker again. He's a field technician and comic relief. He's not as funny. He's more of a field technician, but Simon Pegg's just always good. Ving Rhames is always good. He's got this really cool sort of Shaft character about him. Gabrielle S.A. Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Smarts.
Very much so. At least he acts that way. S.I. Morales plays Gabriel. He is really horrible and extremely good. The White Widow, Alana Mitsopoulos, you'll see her a bit. And Elsa Faust is, if you've ever seen The Greatest Showman, she was the woman that was singing Never, 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 Never Enough. I don't even remember that from The Greatest Showman. But anyway, that was Rebecca Ferguson. She's quite different in this one. She kicks major ass and does a lot of martial arts, etc., etc. She's very good. And then the last one is Hayley Atwell. Grace, she's a newcomer to this particular Mission Impossible. She is a skilled thief, franchise. Skilled thief who inadvertently becomes entangled in the mission. And she steals one half of the key, and she is excellent. Everyone's excellent in it. Heaps of stuff happening. It's very, very good. I would easily give it 4.8 blurt stars. It's an absolute cracker. And the one thing I was, yes, I do. Just about to put it on now. One thing I was just going to say, right now there is the Final Reckoning that's out, which is part 2 to this, and you definitely need to see part 1 before you see that. So definitely, absolutely. Netflix, go and check it out. I think it's Netflix or Stan. Definitely. Anyway, Netflix.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Okay, so definitely check it out, and then go and see the final one because that looks far and amazing. Anyway, enjoy this.
Our lives are the sum of our choices. And we cannot escape the past. Ethan, this mission of yours is gonna cost you dearly.
The world is changing. Truth is vanishing. War is coming.
It's been a long time, friend. You've no idea the power I represent. It knows your story and how it ends.
Listen to me. The world's coming after you.
His fate is written. Shall we write yours too?
If anything happens to them, there's no place that I won't go to kill you. That is written.
Ethan, what's your objective? What's your ultimate objective?
Your life will always matter more to me than my own.
None of our lives can matter more than this mission.
I don't accept that.
Stunts are brilliant. Tom's brilliant. Still top of his game at 60. I don't know how, but he is.
Yeah, he still does it. And in the show notes this episode, I'm also going to put in the behind the scenes of that stunt where it goes off the cliff. It's an amazing thing to watch. I think it goes for about 15-20 minutes. It's amazing to see. So
well worth watching.
I will add that as well. Yes.
Fantastic.
And great score there, 4.8 out of 5. So I'm just going to quickly get stuck into mine because I know we're very short on time. I'm going to review a show we got into almost a month ago, and we're still going. It's a Taiwanese TV show called Office Girls. It was actually aired in 2011 and 2012, so it's going back quite a bit. And it centers around some key characters. Shenzing Ren, who is a hardworking employee at a major department store. So she's the main protagonist. And the other protagonist is Kinsey Chi, is the son of the store's chairman, but only we know that as the viewers, who is secretly working as an entry-level employee. He's got to prove his worth because his father, who's rich, doesn't want to just hand it to him, the store, etc., etc. It's a rom-com between the two characters and many other characters that are in the show. There's probably another 4 characters there. The office manager and Shen Jing Ren. I can't say the names properly, and I apologize if I've incorrectly pronounced them. And then, so there's all dynamics happening. Each episode lasts about 43 minutes, and there's 40 episodes. So it will take a while to get through. I will also give it 4.8 out of 5 because we are enjoying it so much.
Okay, that's huge. Wow.
Yeah, so unfortunately I haven't been able to find any trailer
shorts.
Shorts or anything, but I will play the intro.
Okay.
And you'll get the gist of the characters because you get to see all the characters and the just the style because it's very not Hollywood, not Australian. It's so
okay. Well,
different.
let's crack on.
All right. Can we see that? Yes.
Yep.
I think we can.
Yep.
就算火烧，千万别轻言放弃掉，真就别乱飘，那一天时机恰恰好，想讨价还价也有礼貌，别投机取巧，谁知道越让你煎熬，越让我骄傲，装作你高兴到骄傲。
You sort of get the gist. It's
And where can you watch that, Wency?
That is on Netflix.
Okay.
It's on Netflix. Go watch it. It's hilarious. We watch it with Taiwanese speech and English subtitles, so we like original, and then so it can take a bit of effort to focus because sometimes the subtitles go real quick. So a few times we've had to revert and continue. Or usually between the 4 of us, someone's caught it and then they just repeat it if you don't understand, if you missed something. So it is great to watch. Get into it. It's hilarious. Like I said, 4.8 out of 5.
4.8.
Loving it.
Now, the thing I hadn't said about Dead Reckoning is it goes, I believe, for 2 hours and 44 minutes. So
yeah, that's right.
You need to leave a bit of time for yourself to see this one, but it's well worth it. It's absolutely worth it. I didn't even feel like the 3 hours went past. It was just
exactly.
Just
and the new one, I'm guessing, will be about the same. So
yeah. They make them pretty long. They do make them pretty long. Look, talking about pretty long, we've gone too long, and it's been a great show. And thank you very much for being with us. And if you're listening on the pod, fantastic, awesome. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed. We'll be back next week. As always, I am out. I am the Kegsta. Good night.
And I'm Wency. We'll see you next week. Bye.